Hello. Tis Tuesday. No, it's not Tuesday. It's Thursday. Can't have the tea though. So that was quite good and ended in D. Annie and I are here. I'm not the one making the squeaky noise. What do you think? She's not best pleased with me. I've got the doggy kibble. And I'm having real problems. This dog does not eat very well. And she's super high energy. She's a Malinois. She's super high energy. And the pickiest eater I think I've ever come across. So these smell absolutely disgusting. It is the lamb recipe. And it is 98% pasture-raised lamb, organ and bone. And I bought 2 different makes of the similar sort of content. You want to eat it? Okay. The one that I bring one to the barn for little snacky doodles. And I have one in the house. And the one in the house, which is exactly the same, she won't touch. This one here, she's like, these are absolutely the best I have ever eaten. I have no idea what goes on with this dog. But everybody else, all of the other 6 dogs, they all eat dinner very nicely. And they're done within, I would say some of them under a minute. And this one takes 20 minutes. But she likes to let everybody know that it is her dinner. We've tried feeding her in a separate room. We've tried feeding her inside, outside and round about. Ugh, these stink. And sometimes she'll eat a certain food and then the next day she's offended that you've put it in front of her. So she is the pickiest dog I think I've ever come across. That's you I'm talking about. And she has to eat her dinner. I have to sit in a seat because she takes 20 minutes, let's face it. I have to sit in a seat and watch her not eat. And honestly, it's an absolute pest. Look at you. We've got these in the house, you know. So, no rhyme nor reason to this one. It's an ongoing struggle. And she is such an active girl that she's all muscle. She's got very little insulation. It's most bizarre. And hey, Hilda, since you're here, just to let you know about the weather, my car said it was 58 degrees just now. I am freezing. Absolutely freezing. I think it might be the wind chill, because it's 58 degrees to me is a really very comfortable getting to the sort of like uncomfy stage in life. But good grief, it's cold. So, and I'm back on wearing gloves. Isn't that terrible? But at least it's sunny and bright, isn't it? Oh yeah, sunny and bright. She's like, yeah, I love these. These are tasty and delicious. You could have eaten them in the house though, couldn't you? So, I went to the job yesterday in Haverhill at Aspen Hill. And it was super. Because normally when we go, we're trying to free up time in the calendar. So Aspen Hill has 2 different sections. And we're trying to do both in the one visit, which is super. Because then it means that somebody else can have that second slot. And this has worked out really well yesterday. And we did the ground floor. And then we did the first floor with Larky and his bunny rabbit chum. And we then were asked if we wanted to go and do the rehab section, which we did. And it was really lovely because there was so many people who, you know, they were talking about his father used to breed Great Danes, and somebody had a rabbit, and it was a really good visit. We saw about 78 people, so that was fantastic. And then the job that was for today, it was cancelled and moved to May 1st when we've got Janine who can actually drive the trailer. into Boston, because I'm not doing that. That would be a disaster. Absolute disaster. So that went very well. Carleen has been having a bit of a problem with her life alert. Again, it went off last night, and then it went off this afternoon. I think they're misfires. Are you done? Oh, she's finished. See? You sure? Right, I'll not give you any more though. There you are. That's a good girl. Ugh. I've got stinky, smelly hands. And it's been a terrible day today because I am wearing jodhpurs. Not out of choice or because I'm riding anything, but out of necessity because I don't have any clean jeans left. So it has been one of those horrible domestic days today. You know, that those days when you have to do sort of like a sort of smattering of housework and washing. So it's been depressing, really. So I'm attempting to commune with the washing machine and all these other domestic appliances, which is just miserable. Anyway, tomorrow will be a better day, that much I can tell you. And so our animals on Goldies are doing well. Our bunny rabbits, that rabbit moose, he's just absolutely fantastic. It's the funniest thing. You know, I say to people, they say, is he always this calm? And I'm like, no, he bounces around in that stall, and he does lots of things that he thoroughly enjoys, and then pops himself into the travel basket, and that's him done. And he just lies there, and then he melts into the pram, and we go visit with people, and it's great. So it's like Jekyll and Hyde. He completely and utterly switches personalities. So he is absolutely super. So he and Madeline are doing very well. Our donkeys are enjoying the weather, and they're up in the hill and they're sunbathing. So that's really nice. I love seeing them outside when you go down to the barn. I can actually see them from my house. I can see them on the ridge line of the hill, and they're all either running around. Flower does love running around. She's hilarious. The goats are still there. No, you're not having any more. Yeah, well, she's cuddled now. And the turkeys, honestly. Who knew turkeys were so personable? But they really are. They're super. Like, she's like, yeah, I'm just going to sit here. I'm not patting her. See, this dog talks to you. It's like, do what I want you to do now. Otherwise, she sits and whines and she does it all night. Don't you? I know. I love you. So it's all go down there. And the cows, they seem to like that tiny little chute that they have outside. And I think it's because it's got sand on the bottom, and the top of the sand warms up and they go and lie on it. So they're doing very well. Still trying to work out where we're going to put Percy Pig, because somebody very kindly sent information about pigs, and they cannot go near a pond. So we'll have to rethink either the accommodations or how we're going to sort it out. And it could be... I think it should just go in Janine's apartment, to be honest with you. I don't see any problem with that. I mean, Wanda would appreciate it. I think she likes the pig. Look at this. Yeah, she's like, this is nice. This is nice. I'm just a service provider for animals, really, aren't I? I think I've found my niche in life. Yeah? Nice. Look at her eyes. She's like, yeah, I like it. I love this. I love this. Yeah, you do. I know. You're my best girl. So, it's definitely something, thinking about where this pig is going. I suppose we could always pop him out on Chaos Hill, but if he makes a mess on Chaos Hill, then Carleen won't be very happy. So, and we think we're going to bring Chester and Sunshine, who are Janine's horses, back onto the farm. There's a chance that Chester might not come. He might go to a different barn. And we will obviously have them on camera. And I can tell you, if it's Sunshine, she keeps everybody moving because she's an absolute monkey. So that will be interesting. So they'll go into Wallace's stall area, so that's fine. I'm trying to think who else we've got that we need to accommodate or move round about. I do think that the turkeys, that Tom and Tabitha would be good up by my house because they can't fly over the fence and then the dogs can't annoy them. Although they will bark at them, wouldn't you? Yeah. I've got the chinchillas in the sunroom at the moment. And Annie is absolutely frantic because every time they run around, she wants to go in and supervise. She's terrible. They are actually in a big enclosure, but she seems to think that everything needs supervision. She's you're a bit controlling, really, actually, aren't you? Yeah, I know. I'll do it again. And the poor chinchillas, they've got this sort of like Malinois protector, haven't they? And you squeak at them, and then they don't want to look at you. I don't understand what the attraction is. So, so she's over there. Now our buddy Noodles is going to do the same thing. So through the glass French doors, there's these two dogs just fascinated with these chinchillas. But the chinchillas, they've got little cockatiel buddies, don't they? Yeah, they sing at each other. Yeah, so it's all happy chaos. And the blinking hens, whatever has happened to the fence over the winter, every day they're going underneath the blinking thing and going up and down the driveway. So that's always lethal. And Annie comes out and then she's totally frantic because there's hens everywhere. And she doesn't like that very much. Is that right? Yeah, you have to round them up. Useless. So we'll have to go home and we actually have to lift the fence up and they all go back underneath it. You going for a sleep? She's going for a sleep. This is good. If we can get her to go to sleep, we'll get peace and quiet for a little bit. Isn't that right? Peace and quiet for a little bit. Yeah, I know. I know. She's very particular. Anyway, so everything's going well. I think Janine will be back in maybe about under 2 weeks, I think, now, which is lovely. And we'll get everything up and ready to go. And that means that all the animals can go back out again. Not you, obviously, because you're a pest. We can start taking the trailer out. But before we can do that, Nick's got to fill it with hay and bring it over. So that's all go. She's actually falling asleep. It's just she's determined not to. You could have a wee snooze and then we'll go out. Yeah. Look, see, she's terrible. You're a monkey, I know. Anyway, so it's all going well, which is really nice, and the weather's improving, although it's very cold. And we'll not be listening to Hilda if she says there's any more snow because we don't want to know. And we've got to dig out the duck house. We've never had ducks before, and we certainly haven't had ducks over the winter before. And that was a total and utter eye-opener because in that area, because we put the water inside for them, it has been wet, sloppy, frozen, defrosted. It's going to need dug out. It's disgusting. That's why the ducks are all so dirty. They've combined the water, which they go in, jump around on, and with feed. It's the most disgusting mixture, and it stinks. So that's we're waiting. We're waiting in the hope that it dries out slightly, because at the moment it's digging out big, heavy, sloppy shovelfuls of stuff. We're hoping it maybe dries a bit more and we can chip it out. But that was an eye opener. Somebody said to us, they don't need water inside of, and that I think is probably true of better weather. But when they can't get outside, oh my goodness, we put the water inside, and they're so messy with water. It's so little of the water actually either goes into the ducks or stays in the buckets. It goes absolutely everywhere. So that was an eye opener and something to be. I know I'm doing this. Look, she's like, what are we doing? What are you doing? I know. We're going to have to rethink how we do this next year because it's a lot of work, and not very pleasant work either, I might add. Anyway, let's have a wee looky-see at the questions. I know, I see you. You're a pest. I know. Nobody wants to see up your nose. Yes. I know. See, I have to use 2 hands for this. And now I'm not stroking her, and now she's all... There you go. I struck you again. You're fine. Right, okay. So, it is Thursday. I thought it was Friday this morning, but no. If we stopped... Yeah, you know, I actually did stop using the Goldie's chat because I kept getting banned. I mean, what did I do? I was like blinking heck. And thank you so very much to Linda and Janine for actually getting that sorted, because I think it was... See, look, she's just you're a pest. Right, I need my hand back. I think they had to decant all the previous comments to somewhere else. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Annie does like to savour her meal. Very. We'll say no more about that. Oh, another survey. Thank you, Linda. Nah. Annie totally has me well trained. Honestly, she's the most demanding, in-your-face dog. Can't get rid of her. She moans about things at night time. If I move, she's like, why did you move over there? And I'm like, because you're too warm, go away. And she's very talkative. She's always got an opinion on something. She's my buddy. Oh, happy anniversary, Hilda. That's lovely. She is picky like a cat. And I'll tell you, this is the most agile dog I have ever had. Keeping her in a secure area is lethal. She climbs the chain link. She can climb the fencing. She's absolutely horrific. If you put her in one spot, you can almost guarantee that she won't be there when you come back. Nick, I think, saw me driving up. He let her out the back door. And the back door and the back of the house is secured from the front with an over 8-foot fence on one side and a 6-foot fence and a panel on the other side. And he said she saw you coming up the driveway. He said so, and she bounces. She actually jumps up and down, up and down. He said, I just let her out the back, he said, because she was getting a bit too much. And I said, yeah, I said she was getting a bit too much because she's come over one of the fences and ended up greeting me at the car. So she's, she's a handful, but we do love her. Willow is in with Justin and Mandy. And we felt that since Sizzle had problems and had been at the vet, that we want to keep Sizzle as calm and as comfortable as possible. So we chose not to put Willow in there because Willow is very bouncy. And it took her a couple of days, but Justin says she's now settled in very nicely with Mandy. And she's they're both quite happy, which is good. Where is Larky going? I don't know where Larky is going. She is a very dainty eater, which is probably quite fortunate. Yeah, Larky should just be down there. I don't know of any plans of him going anywhere. But I will say that Carlene's front door, since the freezing weather has gone, it doesn't shut properly, because I don't know if you remember, we were having problems actually shutting it when the weather was cold. So I'm not sure if somebody sort of fixed it, but unfortunately now the latch is not catching on the door handle. So the door, it blows open and it's quite problematic. So if Larky's going anywhere, it might be by himself, but I think there'll be people down there, so it should be okay. No, Larky's always on the farm. He's our man for the outreach jobs. We can't have him going anywhere. I wonder if I was seeing somebody else. Chester might not be in the farm, but that's just because he would be going to another boarding barn. But that's a horse. Now, that's a really good question about Janine bringing back the chicken coop. At this precise moment in time, she's not sure. What she's trying to do just now is organise for people to maintain the outreach programme. And she said that she's got volunteers who will do it, who have their own dogs, and she would consider leaving the chickens down there, but I would prefer, and she would prefer, that they stayed in that chicken coop because it's secure, because that's where they live at night time. And the thing about it is, what people are very happy to help, but they would prefer to be going out and doing the jobs if Janine was there. So what we might do is Janine might stay down there for the summer, but if she leaves the chickens, she might fly back and forward to enable that program to keep going, and her to help out the volunteers that are down there. So there's a lot that's a wee bit pie in the sky at the moment, and she would be able to use the chickens down there and the dogs, so she doesn't need to transport a dog down because she would have access to dogs. So, and then we're just beginning to think about, what animals she might take down next year, and she's considering taking the mini horses. I said she needs to take Arthur because he can be a bit naughty. So she's considering taking the horses. So that is good because it gives them, it's such a different climate. It gives them a totally different experience of space during the winter, where they can get out and run around in unsnowed upon paddocks. So Moose is beginning to gain weight, and he is still matted, but not to the same degree. So the mats, the problem we had with the mats, they were so close into the skin that when you pulled them up, you couldn't get the scissors behind the mats to cut them out. And the other problem was it was so blinking cold over winter, I didn't want to have great big chunks of fur missing from him. So Ashley came down and she very kindly, she shaved off the top of a lot of the mats, which means that it should technically be easier to start unraveling and pulling the mats away without pulling the skin away from his body, and also leaving him exposed to very cold weather. I tell you, this has just been one thing after the other. I have a comb that I bought specifically for him because I am starting to try and tease out the mats. There's a lot of fur that's obviously in the new and growing. The old fur that should have been brushed out is tangled up in the new fur that is growing and still attached. So it's an absolute pest. But he is getting a bit better, so that's good. I'd like to think that over the summer we'll get him completely clear of them. Madeline at the moment is not going out on jobs purely because she's not quite as comfortable as Moose on these jobs. She's a bit more fidgety in the pram, and she bit me in the finger. So I haven't tried taking her anywhere. I think we could probably take her as long as people weren't up at her face, but she doesn't sit quite as nicely as him in the pram, and it's a really funny thing because he's like an ice cube. He just melts into it, and he sits there, and he's got no intention of leaving. But she's not the same, and I think I've come to agree with the sort of like general consensus that the male rabbits are far friendlier and nicer to handle, and I do think that definitely between our two rabbits, that is definitely the case. She's a lovely rabbit, and she bounces over to me in the stall, and she's definitely a really nice girl, but he's the one that kind of excels at what he's doing at the moment. So I'm sure we will get her going, but I've only been able to handle Larky and a rabbit, because you got to remember that Moose is Larky's rabbit, and Larky likes to come and check in his rabbit. Can you imagine if he had two? He'd be frantic going between the pair of them. And there's no sign of baby bunnies. And I was speaking to my friend, and she was saying, you know, she also asked me if there was any sign of baby bunnies. Now, I think these rabbits have been together for the best part of a year. I would suggest that probably the reason that the breeder rehomed them was because they were not producing. Because they came from, he was rescued, and it was very definitely, I don't think, because blue is a very rare, blue is, I think, for a breeder, if you were breeding rabbits, the most unusual colour, so they're quite desirable. The fact that they're really nice rabbits. I think if he was, or he and she as a combination were a proven breeding pair, I'm not sure that they would have been quite so quick to rehome them. So that's just my thoughts on the matter. Have I frozen? Oh. Oh, I think that's perfect. Percy in the house with Carleen. She'd love that. I'm sure Sizzle would like it. I think that actually might push poor Sizzle over the edge. Carleen is not going south just now. Funnily enough, Janine and I were talking about her going back down when Janine goes down. It's really difficult for Carleen, to be quite honest with you, because Janine lives in a really beautiful part of Aiken. In fact, I think every part of Aiken's beautiful. But you really need a car to get to lots of other places and, you know, into the downtown. And the only thing is, if they were able to either take down her golf cart or hire one down there, she could get, the whole place is accessible. These are all gated communities, you see. That's how these places are set up. And she could go and tootle around in her golf cart, you know, with Larky. It would be great. But I think it just hasn't really worked out for this year. And even though the weather is much better and much warmer, it was still too cold for Carleen's preference to be outside and running around. So we're just trying to work out when would be good and make sure that Carleen has things to do, because we all know Carleen does things that she shouldn't be doing when she gets bored. So we're trying to work this out for the best for everybody. And also somebody needs to be able to fly down with Carleen, because Janine will drive down and take the trailer. So lots of opportunities. It just hasn't quite married up quite yet. So that's interesting, Mary, because yes, I think all pigs are reasonably good at swimming, but I think the problem is that it's not actually a drowning hazard. It's more a case of excrement, and what the excrement does is it ends up in the pond, and then it knocks out the stability of the sort of like biology of the pond, so that the water content, it changes it, and then you get, I think, a bloom of toxic algae. And quite frankly, I think Nick would be absolutely furious if his ducks couldn't get in the pond. And they also fly, so they would get into the pond by hook or by crook. So it's a bit of a problem, and it's not a we don't want the pig getting wet or drowning. It's more a case of the excrement causes a great deal of trouble. So yeah, I'm very lucky with Annie. She is very definitely a one-person dog, and she's not the most sociable. And I said that about you. And she's not the most sociable of dogs, but she came from a really, really horrible background, and now she's my little limpet. Aren't you, Stinker? I'll tell you, she's hard work. Annie is a Malinois. And yes, so she's quite something. She is a constant ball of energy, and she's always on the go. There's very little downtime with our Annie. Annie would never, I can guarantee, go on any of the jobs. And in fact, I try and keep Annie away from the general population, because she's, whatever's happened to her, somebody's done something at her head and her ears. And if you put your hand over that area and she doesn't know you, she snaps at you. So she's been in, she did 5 weeks of training, and we've managed to get that sorted, but it's obviously something that makes her very uncomfortable. And there's no point putting a dog into a situation where they're either unreliable or uncomfortable, and she is both of those. So Annie is just my buddy who goes where I go, and supervises chinchillas. You've got to remember that, and lets me know when the chickens are misbehaving, and lets me know that she doesn't think the quality of the dog food is very good, but she would like to be hand fed, but only with the food that she likes. Thank you very much. She also lets me know when the wind chimes in the bedroom are getting a bit noisy, because they're right outside the bedroom window, and if anybody comes in and out of the house, because she is totally and utterly all over that sort of thing. She's, yeah, she's a handful, but she's my handful, so I just take her out. And the most silly thing is, I don't like dogs travelling in cars unrestrained. This blinking dog can get out of a harness. I put her in the back seat with a harness that goes into the, what's it called? The seatbelt bit. And within minutes, she's sitting, aren't you? You sit up like a bookend. She sits in a bookend in the front seat, and it's like, right, where are we going? And she's terrible. So I think I might have to get a crate for the car and pop her in the crate, because they're like little missiles if you have to do an emergency stop, dogs, and it's a risk I'm trying not to take. So. But she just likes to be up and in charge of everything, don't you? You're the supervisor, yeah? Oh, scratchy ears. Goodness, she's doing it herself for a change. She is a Malinois. Yeah, Hilda is the weather lady of Goldy's farm, all the way from Canada, see? Oh, I don't know why you can't see other people's comments. I have absolutely no idea. Annie, actually, there's no way. I think the problem with Annie is that even if she's sleeping, she gets back up and she's fully charged. She comes to the farm with me and she runs around. And she just keeps going. At the moment, she's having a real problem with the number of squirrels we have. And the squirrels are finding it very amusing. They go up the tree. You can hear them chattering. I think they're laughing at her. She sits at the bottom of the tree. Then she runs to another tree. She is all over the place. She is stressed out by squirrels. Like, so much so that she's having a wee sleep. And she is a very active lady. She runs everywhere at speed, and if there's any opportunity for not walking, she's running, and that's her. So she gets a tremendous amount of energy of exercise, and I've never managed to get rid of all of her energy. She does sleep at night time, and she snores actually. She does sleep at night time, but honest to goodness, she's always ready to go. I think that's just her breed. Oh, Noodles is doing really well. I brushed him today. He is also covered in mats because his, he just, I don't know what he does in the garden, but he used to, I don't know if anybody remembers the video, when it snows, he goes and he lies on his back and he roly-polies all over the place in the snow. And that then knots his wet fur up. And then you have to try and, oh, good grief. So at the moment, I'm brushing him and he loves it. But honestly, it's going to be a long job. So Noodles is doing really well. He at the moment is he's just Nick's dog, and he's got this this ball, and he takes the ball to Nick and he pops it in his lap for Nick to throw it, and Nick's like, honestly, he said, this dog is just so high maintenance. So they were sitting down at lunch today, and Noodles kept coming and he was dropping the ball into his lap, and and Nick threw it again. Annie went and got it. And she's like, seriously, Noodles? And Noodles going, yeah, that's my ball, that's my ball. My dad threw that for me. And so Annie went over and she put it on the table right in front of Nick and went, there you are, job done. Nick's like, Noodles is not a happy boy. Oh, thank you, Linda. Look, I might not get banned from the Goldy's website. Oh, good grief. Oh, dearie me, I tell you. What is life coming to? You can't get, you can get on the website that you're supposed to keep a wee eye on. Or is it a Facebook issue? Yeah, Facebook I find very difficult at times as well. "47 happy years. No, Larky's not going anywhere. Which door? Yeah, the one on the side of the building. That's beside the one that she goes in and out. That's the door that doesn't shut properly. I don't think we're getting any more rescues at the moment, because what we've done is we've condensed really very nicely into sanctuary and the animals that work the outreach jobs. And the price of hay is all over the place at the moment. It's, you know, when the price of gas goes up, price of hay goes up. We've got a lot of animals that, you know, we like to keep comfortably. We've got, I think people forget that it's not just hay. We supplement their feed. We supplement their hay with a touch of balancer, which is, you know, that's quite expensive. They get their feet done. They have to have their teeth looked at. They've got core vaccines that they have. So there's a lot of other bits and pieces that, you know, work out to be really very expensive. So we will bring in rescues when we have a need, or what tends to happen to us is people say, could you help us? And we're like, right, okay. So we're trying to be very sensible. I know it doesn't sound like us, but we are trying to be very sensible. I think Janine must have been joking. I can't see. I know Carlene's really excited about the pig coming up, but there's no way she would displace Larky in favour of the pig. She must have been joking. And Carlene will get bored with the pig pretty sharpish, so don't worry about it. No, there will not be a spring clean-up this year. I think Bow has started working on that. Yeah, we'll have to find another spot in the farm for the pig. And he needs to live in a barn. I mean, I don't think Janine's had him in her house, has she? Can't see Janine having the pig in her house. There'll be a space in the barn somewhere. You've got to remember as well, we've got Tanner's barn, so we can move everybody round about too. By hook or by crook, yes. Annie, you know, I'm not 100% sure how old Annie is. I think she's at least 3, maybe 4. Yeah, I'm not sure. She was found wandering, and they're not sure what age she was, so I've had her for about 3 years, though. No, I don't think anybody would bother threatening me with Annie around, but you never can tell. It's always a first time. Now, Bella, I think, may still be in hospital, which is disappointing and rather sad. But she seems to be in good spirits, and she'll let us know when she's available again, because she's an integral part of the team. Yeah, I think my problem is really, and this is, it shouldn't really be a problem. I need to get a crate that fits my car specifically, because I do like them to have headroom and to be able to turn around. But we've got a terrible habit of putting hay and farm supplies in the car. And I think I need to get a bigger car, actually. I've suggested this to Nick. I think I need a proper car that can actually tow things, but not a trailer, because I'm not safe towing a trailer out of choice, unless it's only going forwards. No, I haven't. I spoke with, well, I didn't speak. We were in, Sharon and I were in communication maybe about 3 weeks ago. She was planning to come up and visit Mandy, but I haven't heard anything since on it. And he's definitely not been out in any of our jobs. No, I don't think Janine would want a pig in her house. I think that would finish her off. He could be in the barn with the chickens. Yeah, I think, well, you know, it will all sort itself out. We always find a space. Just as long as Janine doesn't go past one of the auctions on the way up, we'll be like, okay. Yeah, Elvis and Jemmy might tolerate the pig. I think we just need to make sure that the animals are compatible with one another. That's the only concern. So, but we'll get there, and it will all work itself out. So thank you so very much for joining me, and I will speak with you again next Tuesday. Have a lovely evening. Night night.